fine art show and the farmers market simultaneously here on Saturday at Rittenhouse Square. So they always have plants at this end. That's from petal, like P-E-T-A-L. P-E-T-A-L, or I think the A is capitalized. So I love looking at the plants also. And I live in a studio. I have a couple plants. You know, one is really cheap from Trader Joe's. I actually had a few when I first moved in. I bought some $5 little ones. But I really want a snake plant. Again, I really budget my money, so I do not want to spend anything until I get what I deserve, and that is a lot of money. What began here in 2011 is so heinous that the city is kind of lucky in a way that it hasn't been condemned by other very high-level people who no longer want to have to put up with the BS. Let's see if Philadelphia can grow and change. And I mean higher level people. I'm not talking about your basic street riffraff. It's hard to explain how things work. Some people say NASA inspired. And they say that because there are things that can go on that can seem like supernatural or out of this world or what have you. And it's hard to explain, but higher level people know they're misbehaving. And there are even higher people watching those people who think they're at the top. But clearly if you live in Philly, you're probably not at the top of much of anything, right? Kafar means village in Hebrew. It's Kafar Cafe. It's been here for a long time. It's part of a mega Pearl property conglomerate, you know, massive overtake of, you know, some of the blocks in Philadelphia. And villages were targeted in Hebrew by Hamas. So the word kafar kept coming up. I was like, that's weird. We've had a coffee shop here since 2018, 19, 20. And turns out it's a Hebrew word for village. Am I going straight? Try to be good and I want to talk. These things. The only thing is it gets really scary on the streets, and I always worry about people and cars and stuff like that. So is that neat?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Hello.
They do ice cream. You scream, I scream. We all scream for ice cream. Do you scream down the street? Are you a sapper?
Does she actually play golf?
Because it is the
hang
goal
out.
of agent provocateurs to make people flip out. And even that little tiny overly projected sound of talking about quote-unquote ice cream. There's an ice cream shop on the corner, but it's there for kind of more than ice cream reasons. So anyway, there is activity that goes on in the world. Some people see it as satanic. I don't know what to call it other than people learn something because they desperately need to feel superior to other people. Do you get that? That's what they told me to do. There are people desperate to feel superior to the point where it's like you don't even want to engage with them because it's like at that point those people just look desperate. But they will say things like, They have buzzwords that they know could get under the skins of targeted people. Would you walk around and purposely try to provoke someone who you don't even know as a person? You don't know their history, you don't know what they had to grow up with, you know nothing about them. Would you purposely want to provoke them just based on other ideas of what's going on? Okay, whether it's racial or it could be other things. Hair color, clothing, a perception of someone that may or may not be accurate. And most often they're not about the target. Spin away. Some police motorcycle guys over here at IBX. I guess, I don't know if there's something going on today, but they have some police cars hanging out on or JFK, Rural Market. Sorry, sometimes I mix up the two. It's a weird thing, but 1900 block up to 20th. So either someone's coming in who needs an escort. I can't tell. There's no cranes. Often these cars will show up for cranes that need to work on the rooftops of buildings. Also, a little thing I noticed, and I document a lot of things to figure out like what causes certain types of energy in the air that might cause people to flip out or so forth and so on. A car just went up 19th Street, or down. It's really south even though it angles up. And I noticed that when certain activities are going on in the city, like filmmakers will come in and they'll set up trailers and stuff, or bigger events with politicians or what have you, it could stir the cauldron, stir the pot, cause people to come out of the woodwork to what? Play today. That's right. Are you gonna play today and try to make someone snap out? You know you're bad when you try to make someone snap out, and then you turn around and blame the victim and call them names like Karen or this, that, or the other. They assume people have had certain things in place and are more privileged or self-entitled. It's not always the case. You'd be surprised. And there are people who will downplay what they look like so that you can't see that they really are overly privileged. You can never really tell unless you engage with a person. You could be married to someone for 50 years and not know that you were sleeping with the enemy the whole time. And people have a way of tucking things in the back of their brains. So, found him. So, yeah, most people don't want to have to go through the process of a divorce if they're in a certain boat per se, or they don't want to go through a second divorce because it means a lot of money issues, people having to live without all the things that they were living with before. You know, so there are a lot of people who stay married for monetary reasons and they keep trying to make it work, and they might be better at compartmentalizing things like, oh, I found my second wife trying to steal money and put it in her purse. I'll just tuck it in the back of my brain as, you know, she grew up a certain way. She believes that she was